press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
So let us say a company is planning an initial public offer. So let us say it's a private limited company right now, and it has decided to issue shares to the public at large. Since you are offering shares to the public at large for the first time, we are referring that as an IPO. Or it's also very much possible that you have already issued shares to the public at large, maybe in the past, maybe 10 years back, maybe 15 years back, and you are again planning to offer your shares to the public. We will consider this simply as a public offer or a PO. Earlier, we had seen that primary segment is the segment of the capital market where new securities are created. We were discussing that from the viewpoint of the company. But let us say a company is planning an initial public offer, or the company is planning a public offer. How can I, as an investor, participate in the same? So that's what we want to discuss in this particular episode, that if a company comes up with an IPO or a PO, how can we participate? So let's discuss what are the prerequisites and then what exactly will be the process. Let's see one after the other. Yeah, if you want to participate in an IPO, then yes, the first thing that you really need is a demat account. Without a demat account, it will not be possible for us to apply for the shares. But if you want to apply for the demat account, then before that also you require the PAN. So I will say that the first thing that you need is a permanent account number, right? A permanent account number is the very first requirement. Second requirement, of course, is you should also have a bank account. And finally, we can put as three, a demat account. So if I want to participate in the IPO, these are the three prerequisites. I must have a permanent account number. Without a PAN, I will not be able to open a demat account. And of course, I also need a bank account. A fourth requirement is also there, but I'm not mentioning it. You require sufficient money also so that you can apply for the shares, right? But yes, these are the three prerequisites which will be there. Once you have all the three, you are good to go. Now, let us say there is a particular company which is planning an IPO. You will have to first obtain its application form. So there will be a share application form that has to be, which we have to acquire. And once you have the share application form, you can then apply for the shares. Different details will be required to be given in that form, which we will be providing, right? Some regular details like name and address and all that. The bank account number has to be mentioned. The PN has to be mentioned. Your permanent account number has to be mentioned. So is your bank account also to be mentioned. Now, another thing that you'll have to really do in this application form is you'll have to select the category within which the company should consider you. If you remember, in book building process, we had seen this, that you will be, or rather I'll say the public offer shall be allotted in three categories. One is a qualified institutional bidders, then you have high net worth individuals, and then we have retail investor. So when you are applying for the shares, you will have to decide in which category are you falling. Are you a qualified institutional bidder? Obviously, we are not a qualified institutional bidder. Are you a high net worth individual or are you a retail investor? I am assuming that you are not a high net worth individual. I hope you agree with me, right? If you're already a high net worth individual, I believe you won't be watching this particular episode. You will have people, who can apply the shares for you. So we will basically fall in the category of retail investor. Who exactly is a retail investor? Yes, let's discuss that also. As per the rules of SEBI, okay, we are going to apply the rules of SEBI over here. Who is a retail investor? Retail investor is someone who is going to apply for maximum rupees 2 lakhs. So when you are filling up the share application form and you select the category of retail investor, it means the maximum amount of money that you can invest in the public offer is 2 lakhs. If you are investing anything more than rupees 2 lakhs, you will fall in the high net worth individual category. For example, let us say I want to invest 6 lakhs of rupees. If you want to invest 6 lakhs of rupees only through one application form, then you will have to select the HNI category. But I will advise you not to really do that. See, a person who is really a high net worth individual, that person is not going to apply shares for just 6 lakhs of rupees. If you are a high net worth individual, or if I am a high net worth individual, I am going to bid for shares in crores of rupees. So whoever is an actual high net worth individual has bidded shares in crores and crores, while you are bidding only 6 lakhs of rupees. Your application of 6 lakhs will get lost in those applications of going into crores of rupees. I hope you get my point. That's the reason you will have to go in the retail investor category. But then you may say that no, I want to invest 6 lakhs, then what should I really do? Fine. Retail investor is a single individual who is applying for 2 lakhs or less. If you are like that, no, I have 6 lakhs of rupees and I want to invest that in the IPO, you can invest in your own name. You can invest in your father's name, mother's name, spouse's name. If you already have children, then maybe in the children's name, say if they are adults and they do have a demat account. So what we are doing here is it is the entire family which is then applying for 2 lakhs individually, and then how total 6 lakhs of rupees can be invested by us. So that is what can be done as an alternative. Yes, you cannot select the retail investor category and then fill up the form for 6 lakhs. If it is a single form only of rupees 6 lakhs of rupees, then your form as a retail investor will get rejected. As I said, you'll have to then select high net worth individual. If you are of the view that in my own name, I will apply, 3 times. So one application for in my name for 2 lakhs of rupees, another application again in my name for 2 lakhs of rupees, that is not permitted, right? Because of the permanent account number, the company will be immediately able to identify that it has received multiple applications in a single name. All of your applications will get rejected. Who knows, you may even get blacklisted. So that's not a very good idea. But as I said, I can invest in my own name, or rather than invest also, I can apply in my own name. I can apply in my wife's name. I can apply in my parents' name. So what happens is each are separate individuals. Each one of them have a separate permanent account number. And that is how I can participate in the IPO for retail investor category for a sum of even more than 2 lakhs. But for continuing this particular episode, let's assume that you are a single investor, you want to do a single application, and you are very much aware that the maximum amount that I can invest is 2 lakhs of rupees. 2 lakhs or less. That is how SEBI defines a retail investor. Fine. Now will come a stage where you will have to offer what are the number of shares that you are bidding and at what particular price. We have seen this in the earlier episode that a particular share issue will now pass through a book building process, right? And in the book building process, the company will only suggest what is the price band. The final issue price is going to be decided later. So yes, what a company will do is the company will suggest to you that what is the price band. So let's assume for a moment that the price band prescribed by the company, just for illustrative purpose, let's say it is 850 to 1000. We know 850 is the floor price and 1000 is the ceiling price. I cannot bid for the shares at a price which is below 850. Similarly, I cannot bid for the shares at a price which is above 1000. So let us say for this company, the price band is 850 and 1000. Again, The company has also given us the lot size. Let's further assume that the lot size is 20 shares. That means minimum of minimum 20 shares has to be applied by me. So I have to make an application for 20 shares, and after that in multiples of 20. So it can be 20 shares, 40 shares, and so on. As you can observe, the maximum amount that I can invest is 1 lakh. The maximum price at which I can bid is 1,000. So 2 lakhs, if I'm dividing by 1,000, that means the maximum number of shares that I can bid is 200. So in a single application form, the maximum money that I can invest is 2 lakhs, and the maximum number of shares that I can bid for is 200 shares. I hope you are comfortable till here. And as I said, the minimum lot size is 20. I cannot fill up the application form and say I want 1 share. Not possible. Minimum of minimum 20 shares has to be bidded. Now, how will I carry out the bidding? Yes. We had seen this also in the episode of book building, but again, I am repeating it. Let us say, for example, I want to go for the maximum. I want to go for 200 shares. But it is not compulsory that all the 200 shares I have to bid at the same price. Different number of shares I can bid at different prices. For example, I can say I want 20 shares and I can bid that for 850. Then I can say that another 20 shares I want to bid, let us say, at 870. It has to be within that price band, 850 and maximum 1000, right? And let us say that I'm saying, yes, another 80 shares. I'm saying I want it at 910, let's say. So there are different shares which I am bidding at different prices, right? And let us say I'm again saying another 80 shares at 1000. I believe the total is turning out to be 200. So the maximum share that I wanted to bid was 200, and this is how I want to carry out the bid. So there is a separate column in the application form where you can fill it up that what are the different number of shares that you want to bid at different prices. So that is what we can do over here. Or there's another way out also in which you can apply for the shares. This is one way where different shares are bidded at different prices. There's also an alternative. What is that alternative? I can say I want to bid for all 200 shares. And you know what I do is I use this particular term. I say I want it at cutoff price. Now, what is this? And majority of the retail investors do go for this particular way of applying for the shares. We say at the cutoff price. You know what is the cutoff price? Once the book building process gets completed, the company will find out what is the weighted average. And after the weighted average has been determined, the company will ultimately decide what is its final issue price. We are telling the company that, see, whatever is the final issue price, I want 200 shares at that price. This tremendously increases the possibility of shares getting allotted in your name. If not entire 200, at least the minimum lot of 20 shares. That can be done by us. So what I am doing is, instead of giving different bids of shares at different prices, because as a retail investor, I'm not very sure that what will be the final price. And that is the reason I say cutoff price. The moment I say cutoff price, whatever is the final issue price, I am saying I will be investing at that particular price. Just think for a moment. Let us say the company is determining its weighted average price, and the weighted price, let's say, the weighted price is turning out to be, let us say, some 980. And finally, the company decides that its issue price, let's say, finally, the company says that its issue price, just a second, that its issue price is a final 970, let's say. So what we are saying is that this is the cutoff, this is what we are referring as the cutoff price. You decide 970, I don't mind paying 200 into 970. And that is how I want to apply for this particular share. If the first system was selected, then you can understand all the bids which are below 970 will get rejected. Only the last bid will be accepted because that is above 970. But the moment I select the cutoff price, yes, cutoff price, whatever is the final price, I am just trying to increase my chance of the shares getting allotted. Now, you may wonder that if all the retail investors, or let's say the majority of the retail investors, are saying cutoff price, cutoff price, cutoff price, then how will the weighted average be determined? Think for a moment. We are saying that 200 shares I want at the cutoff price. Why 200 shares? Let's say I'm interested only in 20 shares. Let's say I don't want to participate in the entire 2 lakhs. I have very limited funds lying with me. So instead of 200 shares, I'm applying for the minimum lot of 20, right? The minimum lot is 20. I say minimum lot 20 and I say cutoff price. Now, if every investor, just think for a moment, if every investor is saying cutoff price, then how will the company decide the weighted average price? But as I told you earlier, a book building process is having allocations to qualified institutional bidders, also high net worth individuals, and then retail investors, isn't it? We had discussed this earlier also. What we are saying is that this is the thing: qualified institutional bidders, high net worth individuals, retail investor. Only retail investor can say cutoff price. Qualified institutional bidders have to mention what is the price at which they are ready to buy the share. Similarly, high net worth individuals also have to say at what price they are ready to pay. So the cutoff price or the final issue price will be decided on the basis of what are the bids that the company has received from qualified institutional bidders and high net worth individuals. As a retail investor, when I select cutoff price, I am relying on the collective wisdom of the qualified institutional bidders and the high net worth individual. As a retail investor, I think that the amount of information that is available to the qualified institutional bidders and high net worth individual, the kind of resources which they have, the kind of analysis that they are in a position to do, I rely on that. So a qualified institutional bidder is suggesting that if we want to buy shares at the higher price band, I am relying on their analytical skills. Please get it. They are going to invest huge sums of money in the company. A lot of money is at stake for them. So they will definitely carry out the necessary due diligence. They will necessarily carry out the valuation of the share, which you and me as a retail investor may or may not be able to do. So when I select cutoff price, I am basically suggesting that I will rely on the analysis which has been done by people who are going to invest huge sums of money in this company. And in that process, I'm very much increasing the chance of the shares getting allotted in my name. So finally, once you are ready with this, yes, you will have to now go to your bank. And yes, this entire process will happen to the bank. And what we have to do is we have to apply for what is known as, yes, I'll just put it down and then I discuss that. You will have to do what is known as SBA, right? It is an application supported by blocked amount. We are calling that as ASBA. Again, I'll repeat the full form. It is application supported by blocked amount. So let us say you have, let's put it in this way, that you have applied for 200 shares. In your application, you say cutoff, right? Now, when you are applying for the shares, at that time, we do not know what is the cutoff. So the bank will argue that, see, the maximum limit, the ceiling price is 1,000. That means the maximum cutoff price will be also 1,000. A weighted average cannot be less than the floor. A weighted average cannot be more than the ceiling. That's not possible. So the weighted average will lie somewhere between 850 to 1000, with 850 and 1000 both included. So the bank will argue that, see, the maximum cutoff price possible is 1000. So 200 into 1000, that will turn out to be rupees 2 lakhs, right? Let us say in your bank account, you are having 2,15,000 right now. Let's say you have 2,15,000. So what the bank will do is the bank will block 2 lakhs of rupees in your account. So 2 lakhs will be blocked. So right now you have only 15,000 rupees which can be freely used by you. 2 lakhs rupees is blocked under this particular application. Right. So if you are issuing a check of 20,000 rupees, let's say by chance, if you issue a check of 20,000, your check of 20,000 will get dishonored. So be careful now. Only 15,000 is free right now in your bank account. 2 lakhs is blocked for this particular application. But the best part over here is, although 2 lakhs is blocked, but it has not got transferred to the company. So you will continue to earn interest. Before the ASBA, you had to issue a check and then that check will get debited. So initially 2 lakhs will get debited in your bank account. Finally, the issue will get completed. Then all the calculations will be done. And finally, a day will come when the shares will be allotted. If not a single share is allotted to you, then entire 2 lakhs will be refunded back to you. And in case if shares are allotted, then you have invested 2 lakhs minus whatever you have already invested, the balance will be refunded back to you. But in this process, your bank account was getting debited. Quite possible that not a single share is allotted to me and my entire 2 lakhs is refunded. But haven't I lost the opportunity of earning interest during this entire period? So SEBI has taken a decision that now the applications, it should be supported by blocked amounts. Since the money is still lying in your bank account, you are eligible to earn interest. So by chance, if shares are not allotted to you, the moment the shares are not allotted to you, this 2 lakhs which was blocked the 2 lakhs which had got freezed, which had got locked, that will be released by the bank. By chance, if shares are allotted to you, let us say shares worth 20,000 are allotted to you, then only 20,000 will be debited instead of the entire debit of 2 lakhs that was happening earlier. So this is the entire process that you will have to go through when you are applying or when you are participating in a public offer of shares.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.